Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I wanted to do my 2021 to 2022 NBA power rankings. As we scroll here, I'll show you who I have ranked. So before we continue today's video, I want to hear your thoughts down below. Who do you guys think are the top 30 teams in the NBA? Okay, and it was hard. I think the top 10 was easier than the last 20 because the top 20 teams are play-in/playoff teams, and then the rest are lottery teams. And it's hard because I'm a very optimistic guy. I think every team is going to do great. I think every team builds to have a better year. So I want to hear your thoughts. So obviously I start the number one power ranking we got. And before we continue, I want to hear those likes, comments. What do you guys think of these power rankings? Who do you think should be higher? Who should be lower? Down below in the comment section. Like and subscribe to help the channel grow. We're almost at 4,300. Trying to hit 5,000 by the end of October, maybe. By November. So let's get right into it. The Milwaukee Bucks. We have them at first. The Grayson Allen coming in, I think, was a great addition. And they brought in a bunch of guys. This team got better through the offseason. Even though they lost PJ Tucker, I think they were able to retool the team. And they did what needed to be done, okay? And I think this is a team that still is the team to beat. As long as you have, Giannis Antetokounmpo, you're going to be good. You're going to be a good team. So let's go on to the next one. Brooklyn Nets. I think right now on paper, the Brooklyn Nets are better than the Los Angeles Lakers. And let's just be honest with that one. So I think this is a good team. So when I look at the Brooklyn Nets, I think the additions they made with older, the older guys, LaMarcus Aldridge, they brought back, they have Blake Griffin, they have James Johnson, they have Paul Millsap, all these moves were good, okay? They brought in Javon Carter, which they needed defense. I'm surprised they traded Demboya, but maybe Demboya is just a bust. Really, this team, all it comes down to is rebounding and interior defense. I think they have good perimeter D. They have great scoring. All that comes down to the Brooklyn Nets. Will they be able to rebound and play good interior defense? And, yeah, I think it comes down to LaMarcus Aldridge, James Johnson, Paul Millsap to see how they do. And how does, Day'Ron Sharpe and Nick Claxton fit into this picture? Now, the Lakers, Russell Westbrook, Wayne Ellington, Carmelo Anthony, brought back Dwight Howard. There's Malik Monk. There's all these guys. There's so much shooting. And we'll admit, Russell Westbrook has not looked impressive so far in the NBA season. I don't think anybody's going to be happy about that one, but it is what it is. And I think this is a good team, and I think as long as LeBron James is in the NBA, LeBron James is going to be taking his team deep into the playoffs as long as they're healthy. And I've said this before, and I really think it's going to be a LA Lakers versus Brooklyn Nets NBA Finals. I know that's what everyone expects, and I'm a hop on that train because I think, honestly, if you got to think about it, I think this is a very good team, the Lakers. And as long as LeBron's there, the team, everyone's going to be playing way better than you expect. And some players might not play good, but the ones that you don't expect to play good are going to play good because they're playing with LeBron. Now, I have at 4 the Phoenix Suns. They brought in Landry Shamet and Elfrid Payton. Elfrid Payton helps them with depth, replacing Javon Carter, and you could argue maybe he helps replace a little bit of the Torrey Craig because of how good of a defender Elfrid Payton is that I really think Elfrid Payton could guard some of the smaller wings in the NBA. And Landry Shamet, replaces Etuan Moore and Langston Galloway in the shooting, and Monty Williams is a big fan of Landry Shamet. There's some, turbulence going on between DeAndre Ayton and our team because he wants a max. They don't want to give him max. He deserves max. Give the man the max. Okay? But what I do want to say is this team could be back in the, the conference semifinals very easily, but at the same time they could be this year's Miami Heat. They could be a few injuries or, a player away from being able to get there. And what if Chris Paul just falls off? Now, Utah, I expect them, they're just built to be such a good regular season team, and I expect them to probably have one of the best records in the league. And I've said this before, I think my uni, Udoka Azubuike, Trent Forrest, and I feel like there's one more guy. Maybe I think it's Harley, something like that. I think we're going to see a lot more of the young, and Eric Pascal. I think we're going to see a lot of Rudy Gay, Eric Pascal, Trent Forrest, Mayuni, Udoka Azubuike. I think they're all going to start seeing some lineups while, Quinn Snyder starts to decide, okay, maybe we need to move on from Boyan and some of the other older guys, Miami. I really like Markieff Morris, Kyle Lowry, and PJ Tucker coming to town, and Victor Oladipo still being on the team. So, what holds me from taking this team higher? Chemistry and health, age will all work. Will this work? Will this team be good enough to go? I think they should be, but hey, it is a question, and you guys better keep your eye out because we have no idea. The Denver Nuggets, I would have the Nuggets higher if I meant to erase this right here. Ignore these. I had the Nuggets higher if our man Jamal Murray was healthy, but Michael Porter Jr. is a beast. He's just signed an extension. Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Will Barton, PJ Dozier, Austin Rivers, Facundo Campazzo, so many players on this team. This team's going to be good, and I really think Michael Porter Jr. could be the leading scorer. The Sixers. Obviously, we know the whole Ben Simmons things might be coming to a close. He might be coming back. And this team got deep. They brought in George Niang, Andre Drummond. Isaiah Joe looks like a great shooter. Paul Reed looks like a great defender. So, I don't think the 76ers, though, can beat the Nuggets, the Heat, the Jazz, the Sun. I really don't think the Sixers can beat, all the teams I have in front. The Bucks, Nets, Lakers, Suns, Jazz, Heat, Nuggets. I think those things. I think arguably the Hawks and Sixers, if anything, if there was a tier, I think the Hawks, Sixers, and Warriors are all on the same tier, and even the Mavs, where I think the 7 teams in front of them are all, I think it goes the top 4 being the Suns, Lakers. I really think the top 3 are in their own echelon, where they're the top 3 teams in the league, and then 4, the Suns, Jazz, Heat, Nugs are all like, if an injury happens or something happens to those top 3 teams, the Suns, Jazz, Heat, Nuggets can all make the NBA Finals. They're all capable of it. They're all good. Or they could get really hot, Joe Flacco style and go on an unbelievable run in the playoffs and minimize turnover and play super efficient basketball and propel themselves to the NBA Finals, even without these top 3 teams having injuries that I said. Now, when I just don't believe that the Sixers, Hawks, Warriors, or Mavs, I think the Hawks and Mavs are more likely to join the Nuggets, Lakers. I mean, Nuggets, Suns, Jazz, and Heat than the Warriors and Sixers. I think the Warriors are closer than the Sixers. I think the Sixers really... I don't know if it's Doc Rivers and I've just lost faith in Doc Rivers sometimes, but I think this team doesn't have enough on the Sixers when you just go I think Tobias is a perfect third fiddle. I think Joel's the perfect, guy, but they don't have a really second guy. And the other thing is they don't have a fourth guy. I don't see anybody being their guy off the bench, dropping, being their Jordan Clarkson. Atlanta has just so much shooting, okay? Golden State looks like they're rebuilding their bench. The Dallas Mavericks have Kristaps and oh my God, I almost said Luka Porzingis. They had Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. And I feel like that duo is just a tier below Anthony Davis and LeBron James if Kristaps can get back to form. And I just think the Mavericks are better suited than the Sixers, and the Mavs have Jalen Bronson and Trey Burke off the bench, okay? And Atlanta just has so many shooters and so many scorers, while the Sixers don't. The Warriors, like I said, they have just such a deep bench now. They have 15 guys they could rotate if you wanted to be actually crazy. And the same thing with the Knicks. The Knicks have Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, Derrick Rose, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson when he comes back, Nerlens Noel, And it's Emmanuel Quickley. They brought in Miles McBride, Quentin Grimes. Like, that's just another team that I just think is like, I have the Sixers up there because I respect Joel Embiid and I respect that starting lineup. But I'm just scared. Okay? Don't be surprised if the Sixers kind of stink. Okay? And I'm sorry if I'm like destroying anybody's eyes right here by just bouncing back and forth. Portland Trailblazers, I wanted to put them higher. I love Damian Lillard, and I do think Damian Lillard is a MVP this year. I think Damian Lillard is going to have a great year. And my thought is I really like the addition of Ben McLemore. Larry Nance Jr., small ball 5, good power forward. Tony Snell, 3-and-D guy, had the best 3-point shooting percentage last year. And they got another center in Cody Zeller to help. You know, we saw kind of Joseph Nurkic regress a little bit in athleticism. And I think Chauncey Billups is going to, I think he learned a lot from Ty Lue, who Ty Lue's a very good coach, very underrated coach. And we saw that during the conference finals and what he was able to do without Kawhi Leonard and do with Paul George, you know, Batum and the rest of the squad. And I think Chauncey Billups is going to put Damian Lillard in a position to actually win his first MVP. And I think this team is going to be a lot higher in the power ranking than they are right now. Maybe it takes a trade, or maybe it just takes a few weeks till the chemistry goes full and starts to work. But I think this is a team you guys can't sleep on. Now, the Clippers I wanted to put down lower. Maybe that's just because I'm biased. I think they still make the playoffs, but I could say I'm not making the playoffs. Kawhi could come back ahead of time, allegedly, but we've seen Kawhi's the type of guy who likes to come back when he is ready, okay? And I'm not, like, alluding to the Spurs. I'm just talking in general. He's a guy, he comes back when he believes he is ready. But they added a lot of perimeter players. Jason Preston's out for a while, but Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, Brandon Boston Jr., I literally only expect out of the young guys, maybe Keon Johnson be able to play because of how good he's going to be at defense, in my opinion. Justice Winslow can't shoot, but he's basically a backup point guard. Eric Bledsoe, he's really not efficient anymore, but he's a good defender. And if Reggie Jackson can keep that, yeah, if Paul George can look like 2014 Paul George, then yeah. Or was 2014 Paul George when he broke his leg? Yeah, those are my thoughts right there. The Celtics, look, I think literally Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown got to carry him. Dennis Schroeder should be the sixth man. Josh Richardson should be the starting shooting guard, or small forward. Jaylen Brown should be the starting shooting guard. Tatum at power forward. Robert Williams at center. Peyton Pritchard as the point guard. Schroeder as the sixth man. You know. Oh, wait. I take that back. Fuck me. I'm lying. Ignore everything I said about the Celtics. Marcus Smart as the starting shooting guard. Peyton Pritchard as starting point guard. Jaylen Brown small forward. Jason Tatum at power forward. Robert Williams at center. Backup shooting guard, I think, should be Josh Richardson. Backup small forward, Romeo Langford. Then backup power forward, maybe Jabari Parker or Juancho Hernan-Gomez. Then center rotation of, you know, is Bruno Fernando still there, or do they kind of, I don't even remember. Al Horford and Bruno Fernando behind that, and Grant Williams is small ball 5. And then you go at point guard. Besides that, you know, it's interesting. It's just M.A. Udoka. I hope he's good. But it's really Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown who's going to carry him. The Grizzlies, I expect John Morant. I love this team, and I love Santi Aldama. Is it Aldama? Well, I was saying Aldama for all year, but I heard it's Aldama. Santi Aldama. He's probably not going to play a lot, but it seems like I love him. I think he's going to be really good, and I think him and Jaren Jackson Jr. could be the front court of the future. But I also think they kind of got him an insurance policy just in case Jaren Jackson doesn't come back. I think Jaren Jackson is going to take the jump that we've expected him to do. And, you know, besides that, I think Steven Adams is better than Jonas Valanciunas. And I think the Grizzlies are going to surprise a lot of people. Pacers, they're going to be healthy. Rick Carlisle's a good coach. Nate Yorgan was shit. But besides that, I think this is going to be a good team. And with Brogdon, Karis LeVert, TJ Warren, DeMontis Sabonis, and Miles Turner being the starting lineup most likely, tell me that isn't freaking good. That's pretty freaking good. Pretty freaking good. I like that. They still got Chris Duarte off the bench, who's like NBA ready, and he's a baller. I like the Pacers too. The Hornets, they got wings on wings on wings. Okay, they got PJ Washington. I know he's not a wing, but like just think about this. These guys are all like the same size. PJ Washington, Miles Bridges, Gordon Hayward, Kelly Oubre, Jaden McDaniels. Okay. I feel like I'm still missing. I think they still have one of the Martin twins. They have James Bouknight. And I think those 7 right there, that's like 7 guys who can all just play the same positions. Basically. Half of them are shooting guard small forwards and the other half are small forward power forwards. And I think you could say PJ Washington's a power forward center. Then you got the Wizards. I think the Wizards could be one of the best defensive teams in the league. And Spencer Dinwiddie, Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, Aaron Holiday, Beal, Daniel Gafford. I think, obviously, I think Montrezl Harrell should be the 6th man. I think the starting lineup should probably be, I'd love it to be Thomas Bryant when he comes back healthy with Kyle Kuzma at, power forward, Contavious Caldwell-Pope at small forward, Bradley Beal at shooting guard, Spencer Dinwiddie at point guard. Then you have Montrezl Harrell as 6th man, Daniel Gafford as, kind of doing what he did last year, the fourth quarter demon. You have Raul Neto, Denny Avdia. Also I could see Roy Hachimura starting, but I'd rather have Roy come off the bench and earn the starting minutes from Kyle. And Denny Avdia and Thomas Bryant, I think will. If this team stays healthy, they'll surprise people. I think they should be a playing team at the very least. Chicago Bulls, I have them this low because of the defense. I know Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso are great defenders, but look, can this work as a defensive group? I think Pat Williams is going to be a great defender. DeMar DeRozan sucks at defense. Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic has never been really great defenders. Will they be able to play defense? And Billy Donovan's never been a great defensive coach. So, I know they'll be able to score. I know they'll be efficient. But will they be able to defend enough to win? And rebounding is a little bit of a question. The Raptors are dope. They got Scotty Barnes. And Pascal Siakam's out for the beginning of the year. So, and I think Barnes is the starting point guard, not a power forward. I just look at this and I say just health and are they ready? I just think the Raptors are a year away from being back to what they're supposed to be. I think the Spurs should be ranked higher, but I think a lot of people will kill me. I love Thad Young, Al-Farouq Aminu, and Doug McDermott. And I think Al-Farouq Aminu will rebuild his value, be a stretch 4, small ball 5. Same thing with Thad Young. Thad Young's going to have a big part. I think Derek White and DeJounte Murray are going to be like the 2 guards splitting the starting role. One's the shooting guard being Derek White, the point guard DeJounte Murray. Pelicans, I just don't think they did enough to freaking win. Okay, Devontae Graham, I love him. And Trey Murphy, it's awesome. If they can shoot threes, I just think, again, defense. Is this team going to have defense? Kings, I just don't think Luke Walton's a good coach. I love De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, and Buddy Hield and Harrison Barnes and Rayshawn Holmes. They don't have a power forward, but if they can figure that out, they could be a surprise team. Hey, there's been a lot of messed up crap for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I've talked about it a lot. If this team can make their way through it and play good defense, I really think they're a playoff team, guys. Detroit, look, I think they're going to try to force Cade and Killian Hayes to coexist. Not going to work. Then they're going to have to just do what, we saw with Luka and Dennis Smith Jr., where they're like, fuck it, Dennis, go to the bench. And they're going to just tell Killian to go to the bench and be the 6th man. Cavs, I love Sexton and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. But I think, if they want to be good, Ruby has to play more. But I think they should commit to this lineup of Sexton and Lauri Markkanen and Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, all 5 of those guys on the floor. That'd be awesome. The Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder and Orlando Magic, are all too young, except I think the Orlando Magic of Jonathan Isaac and Markelle Fultz come in healthy. Jalen Suggs is like that guy, like Caden Cunningham, who raises everybody around him. So Orlando Magic could be a surprise team. So yeah, that's it, guys. I'm beat. Like and comment.